salary are you expecting? At some point, you'll be asked that question. If you're interviewing for a relatively small company where affording good people is a major challenge, this question might be the first or second asked by a screening interviewer. Before a company invests time and resources in interviewing you, they have to know they can afford you. The less room a company has to adjust salary according to experience, the more likely you will hear this question early on. On the other hand, if you're just starting out, you may be interviewing for a position where the salary is relatively fixed. You might be uncomfortable with this question, but it is a question you should think strategically about from the first interview. Too many job hunters fail to do this. They don't negotiate the job. They listen passively to what the job is and either accept it or reject it. And too many don't negotiate the salary. They listen to the offer and then decide whether they want to take it or not. A better strategy is to be proactive. Negotiate the job, get the offer, and then negotiate the compensation. Besides, you should be able to research salaries as part of your pre-interview research. Many sites have salary calculators you can use. For example, payscale.com, indeed.com, monster.com, and salary.com all provide data on realistic salary ranges in countries around the world. For companies in the United States, the Bureau of Labor Statistics at bls.gov publishes data on wages and salaries by area and occupation. A salary range might be posted for the job position. If so, you might be asked, "You've seen the salary range for this position. Are you comfortable with that?" If you're not within, say, 10% of the top of that range, then you'd be better off passing on that opportunity. You do, after all, have to make enough to support yourself and your family. The hiring manager is also looking to see how you value yourself and how you handle what for many is an uncomfortable question. Remember, the interview is all about selling yourself and your competencies. Are you confident enough to negotiate what you deserve? Or will you simply accept whatever is offered? While you should have a realistic idea of your value to the company based on your experience and the position you're interviewing for, you do need strategies for handling the salary question. So we've brought John in to ask him about the strategies he uses. John, what's your approach to the salary question?
Well, if this is the first interview, I'll put off talking about specific numbers. If it's still early in the interview, I'll say something like, let's talk about the job requirements and expectations first, so I can get a sense of what you need. If it's a smaller company, and I know salary could be tight, I might say, it's too early to talk about compensation at this point. And if I really like the team and the work, I can be very flexible on salary.
So what if it's later in an interview and you feel like the company might make you an offer?
Well, again, I want to know what they think I'm worth, so I'd probably say something like, at this point, I'm interested in finding a job that is a good fit for me. I would trust that whatever salary you're paying is fair and consistent with the rest of the market.
What if the interviewer presses you a bit? What if they say something like, what type of salary range do you expect?
Well, this can happen, but I want them to make the first offer. I want to get the offer first and then negotiate the compensation. A useful way to keep the door open for negotiation might be to say, my experience in the industry has given me a good understanding of the salary range for this position. I also understand my value to the company, and I'd anticipate compensation to fall somewhere within that range.
What if they ask about your current salary?
Well, I still won't simply just state my current salary. I'll try to develop a line of dialogue to soften it or to keep the negotiations open. If I know from my research that I'm near the top or even above market rates, then I might answer like this. I'm earning very good money right now, in the X to Y range, depending on bonuses, and I'm certainly worth it. But I'm very interested in your company, and I know we can work something out.
So you use a range and not a specific number. What if you're not near the top or even below rates? Or like at United Health, what if you're looking to move up?
Yeah, so I might respond, my salary is very low in the X range, and I know that's below market rates, but I was willing to do that as an investment in my future. Now, however, I expect to make market rates.
What would you answer the interviewer at United Health?
Yeah, at United Health, I'm expecting to take on additional responsibilities. But I do want to emphasize that salary won't be a problem. I want to reassure the hiring manager that I'm on the same team and can work something out. In an interview with a large company like United Health, where I know they have extensive benefit packages, I might say, I recognize that most companies in your industry offer benefits packages to supplement salaries, and I would be open to that discussion as well. For the position I'm considering at United Health, I might add, I understand too that for this position, the ultimate measure of success is the revenue generated by the new innovation. Basically, when the team wins, everybody wins. And this can open the door to a possible conversation about non-traditional compensation. I use the language about the ultimate measure of success because that comes from the job description. I want to make it clear to the interviewer that I understand what United Health expects from the person they hire.
John makes it clear that the conversation is a dialogue. It's a two-way process. He communicates that he does not want to talk about salary, but he does so in a way that respects the interviewer's feelings. Responding with, "Let's talk about the job requirements first," John then adds, "So I can get a sense of what you need." Here he communicates that his priority is to make sure the company's needs are met. His use of "what you need" signals respect to the interviewer. John also uses the "I can be flexible in salary" to indicate his willingness to work with the company to fit his salary to their budget. He signals that his priority is the fit with the organization. This is a particularly good strategy because John knows that's the hiring manager's priority as well. He also uses, "I know we can work something out." This is another way of saying, "I'm flexible." In using these language devices, John is saying he's open to negotiation, but he's also being firm and speaking confidently. His body question.